All right, all right, all right. We are live, or rather, I am live. Chief X at you. This is going to be real brief. But let me give people a reminder of who the original four horsemen were. The original four are missing one, and that's Concrete Corey, right? He wasn't available this date. But let me give clarification on who was riding and who was the original four horsemen. Who was the original people who was considered to be the coalition to go against Afrocentrics and the falsehoods they've taught for decades. Okay? Now, after me, Chief X, made the video, Black Egypt Debunked, it set a fire. I'm talking about a blew up the house where people had to get out the fucking burning house. Right? And this is just going to be maybe 15 minutes of me ranting and showing the reality of who was riding with non black Egypt, aka Black Egypt Debunked, in the initial beginning stages, and how it had thousands of the conscious community people with their panties in a bunch. This video right here, after Black Egypt Debunked, set it off. Pissed a lot of people off. And us four minus Concrete Corey was on a roll. Right? Let's get into this. I'm sharing my screen. Let me check on my tablet and make sure this is showing correctly. Just hold on. Bear with me. Because people are trying to rewrite history, and we're not having it. Now, I got my brother Ngozi's face as the thumbnail, right? And I'm making a point here. I made Black Egypt Debunked. And later on, I convened a panel of good brothers who all agreed that the ancient Egyptians wasn't so-called black folk, wasn't related to African Americans or black Americans, and that black Americans did not descend from ancient Egyptians. The ancient Egyptians were not black folk, and these were the four horsemen, I call them, who all agreed with Chief X and was ready to ride on the entire conscious community. So today, people are spewing a narrative and acting like people agree with them when initially no one agreed except us four plus Corey, and we rode. We made this video that set it off. This video right here, let me just make it smaller and blow this up so people can see the title. One second. Oops. Let me make it a little smaller. Titled Black/White Ancient Egypt History Discussion. This video garnered 6,000 views. Streamed on September 17th, 2021, featuring Ngozi, Chefreen, Aku, and Chief X. We were probably the only few who said, let's just get honest and change the game. Ngozi, Chefreen, Aku Cromante, and Chief X. September 17th, 2021, which is almost, in one more month, 4 years ago. Black Egypt Debunked has its 4-year anniversary. We made this some days after. And after this specific video, it pissed off all the Afrocentrics. To the point after this, 20 niggas had to convene, Ankh being one of them, on Ankh's channel to refute us four. Ankh was not down with us four or what Ngozi had to say when Black Egypt Debunked first went down. We're not gonna allow you to rewrite history. This was the original four horsemen who said we're gonna get honest and have some integrity and shut this down. After this video was made, that same night, Ankh and the entire Afrocentric crew, Smash Rockwell, Wujao, and about 15 other niggas, had a live stream that went 25 hours long, trying to refute us four. Ngozi wasn't fucking with, well, he was fucking with Ankh, but he wasn't agreeing with Ankh. And Ankh definitely was not agreeing with us four. We are the originators who shut it down and caused niggas to stream with their panties in a bunch for 25 hours. They streamed so long, pissed off and mad, that what they have been teaching for decades has been destroyed, that the video cut off after 25 hours, so it's no longer available. But everybody remembers that epic day where they was going to sleep and rotating people in on the stream to refute us four and to call us four wrong. This is the real history of what happened and who was really down. This video right here caused niggas to go berserk and live stream for 25 hours trying to prove that Egypt was black, and Ankh spearheaded it. None of us here agree with Ankh. Ankh agreed with none of us here. This was the original coalition that was going to go down. Right here. Let's be honest. I just wanted to play a clip because we all introduced ourselves. And here's Ngozi talking.
So that's what I want to say first.
All right. Thank you, Aku, man. I pretty much agree with all you said. Ngozi, you can unmute yourself and let us know how you feel about this conversation and, what brought you here.
I think this conversation is very important. I've been around a very long time. Promoting science is very important. I believe that our people should become more scientifically literate. I believe that we come from a rich culture coming from West and Central Africa, and we don't have to be negligent to our ancestral lineage and the things that we achieved in West and Central Africa. I do accept the diversity of Africa. I do look at Egypt as classical African civilization, which it is, no different than the Greek civilization to the Western world, to the Europeans primarily. But we have to be able to accept the diversity of Africa. Science is one thing that we have to become more literate in, and promoting science, not telling you what to think, but teaching people how to think for themselves. Because we have a lot of clergymen in our community, and they have been hustling, and they have been scammed. Because we have a lot of clergymen in our community, and they have been hustling, and they have been scamming, and they have been clergymen in our community, and they have been hustling, and they have been scamming, and they have been capitalizing off our unknowing, because they know that we are a broken people. They know that we're trying to figure out who we are. So like the brother just said, we are becoming a laughing stock all over the world. North Africans think it's a joke when they see us. Native Americans think it's a joke when they see us. And everybody else it's a joke when they see us. We are becoming a laughing stock all over the world. North Africans think it's a joke when they see us. Native Americans think it's a joke when they see us. And everybody else, we don't got to do that. Once we start talking about West and Central Africa and the richness of who we are, separated from those places that we claim, then we can get to a point in the base. So that's all I wanted to say. Peace and love.
Yeah, that's true.
Powerful.
And it's all true. So I want to piggyback off of what the brother said real quick, because everyone wants respect on the world stage. And by the way, Ngozi may be in and out because he is at work, so I just want to let you guys know that. But he's here with us. Everybody wants respect on the world stage, okay? Even gang members in the hood, they want their gang to be respected amongst all other gangs, right? So it's just a human thing that we want to be respected. I want to be respected as an individual, and I want Black folk as a whole to be respected on the world stage. So we have conversations amongst us in what we call, for lack of a better word, in the so-called conscious community. We vibe amongst each other and teach certain things in what I call groupthink, right? But on the world stage of academia and the rest of the world, they're looking at us and listening to us and laughing. Now we think we're impressing each other with slick talk and what we know. But on the world stage, outside of us, there are other people listening and seeing, and they're laughing at us. When we claim to be a Native American, the original Native America, they're laughing at us. When we claim to be the Moors, they're laughing at us. When we claim to be the ancient Chinese, Aku, they're laughing at us. We're looking bad on the world stage, so it's time to change, right? And I just want to play a clip of this little video. Let me know, fellas on the panel, if this is like a very important statement that
So you're sharing your screen now, or?
Yeah, real quick. Can y'all hear me?
I don't see it yet.
Let me make sure I get Chefreen's open remarks. Hold on.
Do you see Walter Williams? Okay, here we go. I didn't hit share. Okay, can you see Walter Williams now?
Yeah, we can see him.
Okay, this was a powerful statement Professor Walter Williams made, right? And at this time, a lot of people may not be around, but this is what a lot of the master teachers were saying. So listen to him real close. It's only about 20 seconds.
This is what's happened
to African Americans and why this Egyptomania going on. Because of the elders taught this. Listen.
In other words, the only way that we can find our way back to our greatness is that we, as African people, have to claim ancient Egypt. Ancient Egypt is the only entity in the whole entire world that will give us back our greatness. So we, as an African people, we're going to have to find our way back to ancient Egypt. And in so doing, you will find our greatness, which is lying unclaimed in the continent of Africa. And the second thing that's blocking us.
That's what happened to y'all. Now I stopped sharing. Aku, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard it.
To you, what do you get from what he said?
My mic on. I pretty much got what you got. That Egypt is a Negro civilization. That in order to for us to restore ourselves, we have to include Egypt into the equation. That's pretty much what I heard.
Right, and he used words like we have to take Egypt back as if it was ours.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
And we need to focus on Egypt, is what he was saying. He stressed it. Walter Williams always stresses that.
Yeah.
Forget about everything else. For us to feel glorious and
we have to reclaim our past.
Right. And we have to claim Egypt, is what they taught from Dr. Ben on down to Walter Williams. Chefreen, do you want to tell me what you thought of what he said?
Let me mute.
Yeah. That I don't have too much contention with what he said historically. Like what Ngozi just said, it is an African civilization, right? The same way Greece.
Pause. So from Jump Street, Chefreen, me, and Aku, Ed and Ngozi has always said it's an African civilization. Like we said this from get-go. It's just not a black African civilization, although it is an African civilization. We said this already. From Jump Street in the beginning when this jumped off. Let's go.
Right, civilization. Like what Ngozi just said, it is an African civilization, right? The same way Greece, right? Europeans don't let Greece get taken away from them, right? Because they not Southern Europeans, right? They still look to Greece as a classical European civilization. So I don't have too much contention with what he said about Africans or African Americans help retake the history of Egypt back and reclaim it for Africa. And I can go into that in depth a little bit later, but you can move the conversation on. That's my stance.
Okay, thank you, Chefreen. So I bought this book.
Pause. Now let me go to Chefron's opening statement. Maybe I've missed it.
Consider myself a Jewish interest against what they thought people were going. Not just because you disagree about a lot of
trying to break away from right.
This is where
okay, here we go.
I had a good discussion with Aku and Ngozi the other night on Pseudo Killers channel. Shout out to the Pseudo Killers.
And by the way, this is where I wanted to put this together because you guys did have that conversation. Go ahead.
Right. So, shout out to the Pseudo Killers. And when those two brothers came on, they just, they was very, they was very, I would say the word I'm looking for, they was up to date in their information, and they was moving forward with it. And they was trying to break away from the paradigm that we didn't have for the last 30 years. So and dealing with a lot of you know, mainstream uh studies of Egypt. I say a lot of times in our community we deal with niche things, right? That's not universally accepted. And their view was more universally accepted, things that you could Google and it'll actually come up. You know what I mean? So those conversations was good. So shout out to the pseudo killers. I'm looking forward to this conversation, and that's what it is.
All right. The legend in OG. Everybody's my BG. The OG Aku. Go ahead and break it on down how you feel about this conversation and what's the point of it all.
Oh well, my whole I don't know if y'all can hear me. Am I being heard?
Yes, sir. I can hear you good.
All right. Well, you older than me, and I want to take it back to the old school and say, uh, do I have permission to speak? You remember when we used to say that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. I want to start off by saying that, yeah, I've over the years that there was a lot of things that created a confused environment that we have to now go and clean up. A confused environment that we have to now go and clean up. A confused environment that we have to now go and clean up. A confused environment that we have to now go and clean up.
We cleaning it up. We cleaning it up. Tell him, Aku.
And I think it's our responsibility to do it because most of this information that we're hearing about a Negro Egypt or a Black Egypt or I don't even know the terms to use because there's terms that we can't use now because it's racist. So I'm trying to find the best term to use. I want to say our people, where our genetics come from, right? Is what I really want to highlight. But what I had recognized was that, yeah, over the years, some of the stuff wasn't right. And I've read from Sheikh Anta Diop all the way back down to John Henry Clark. Okay, I know John Henry Clark personally, and I know Dr. Ben personally. So I have family that was going to First World when all of this started. So I'm saying that it began with us counteracting Eurocentric ideas trying to steal Egypt away from the people that it belonged to. So I'm one of the people who was saying, yeah, Egypt was black. I'm one of the people who changed my name to an Egyptian name. Okay? Started to go to places where where the Egyptian notions of blackness, right, and where I can learn something from, pertaining to going and learning about yourself, and you're going through the transition of learning yourself, right? I was in a set society, so there's a lot of different organizations that I was in that was into this Egyptian stuff, right? So when people ask me if I'm qualified to talk on Egypt, right? I can talk about anything. Okay? I can talk about anything. Egypt is of importance to me because there's this global thing going on where black people, okay, are conscious black people are marginalizing people's culture and claiming their achievements. Culture and claiming their achievements.
Look at everybody shaking their head. We were the only ones with this program.
marginalizing people's culture and claiming their achievements.
Amen.
And I don't care what you believe, your beliefs are your own. But when your beliefs affect other people, because you do not live in a vacuum, none of us live in a vacuum. Everything we do, everything we, right? Our lives is affected by where we live, everything, right? So it made me go deep into it and say, well, I want to know, how are the Egyptians connected to us? And I want to say this. I want to put this on the record too, right? Look, I want to say that we got to be honest as well. I want to say that because we all came through the conscious community. Dr. Ben, John Henry Clark, Sheikh Anta Diop, okay? These were our heroes. These are the shoulders we all stand on. All four of us, right?
Yes, aren't you philosopher? You're right. Maybe you came in a little late, but I was saying us four minus Corey, who wasn't available this day, were the five people on board with non-black Egypt. Everyone fought us five. We are the original ones who supported that these are the original ones who supported me in the truth. Corey wasn't available that day, but you're right. Corey is one of them.
Right here. Stand on those shoulders. But it's only a very uh, small portion of people that rechecks the information all the time. Everybody don't do that. So you find in the community you get a lot of stuff that is incorrect, regurgitated over and over and over and over till it becomes problematic. We are becoming the global laughing stock. And the global laughing stock. We are becoming the global laughing stock.
Pause. I didn't want to be a laughing stock on the world stage. These three and four brothers didn't want to be a laughing stock on the world stage. We seen the bigger picture. We're hotep hustling each other, accepting each other's lies and falsehoods and pseudo history. We were tired of it. We were simply tired of it and wanted to change the game. And we did. Let's go.
In the world, because when they hear us talk about things that are meaningful to us, it means nothing to these other people whose culture we're infringing upon by doing it. So I just want to put that out there and make it to make people understand why it's important to me to have this discussion, to clarify, because look, there's a lot of stuff that's mixed up. And Egyptian culture is very dynamic and very vast. You would have to really be entrenched into that study. And I am not. I am not an expert like everybody else said. But I've read enough and I have the qualities to use critical thinking to know when something don't make sense and when something does. So that's what I want to say first.
All right. Thank you, Aq, man. I pretty much agree with all you said.
Pause. At this time, let me tell you, and niggas need to stop bullshitting theyself and be honest. Ankh, Reggie, Smash Rockwell, and every other pseudo historian was all in the car together against us. I'm not telling no lies. I'm not trying to bullshit. Ankh, Reggie, and Smash Rockwell were doing streams together a whole year riding in the car together, supporting each other against us right here. Tell the truth and shame the devil. But Ankh today in 2024 is acting like he's always agreed to certain things. That him and Ngozi has just been in the car together and been agreeing with each other on this subject. No, they haven't. Ankh was not agreeing with the genetic information that Ngozi, aka we need to start calling him Steet Sufi instead of Ngozi. He prefers to go by Steet Sufi. Nobody was agreeing with Steet Sufi, Chief X, Chefreen, Aku, and Corey. They were all riding in the car together against us. This video right here caused these niggas to have the longest stream in conscious community history, which was 25 hours. Actually, it was 26 hours going against us. This video right here set it all off. Now, let's just be real for a second and check out a few comments. People talk about this guy, Gamal, who's a Sudanese brother, dark-skinned brother that makes these videos and presentations. Very good guy. He's even in the chat on here, right? And let's just check out a few of the comments. Let me see if I can get the comments. Hold on. How can I get the comments in here? Let me make it a little smaller. We're not gonna get the y'all not gonna revise no history on us. And play some role today. Well, let me make it smaller. Hold on. Okay. So here are the comments today. I don't know if you guys can see, but I really want you to see because I like to show and prove what I'm saying, right? Now, this was 4 years ago, right? A guy made a comment. Yeah, if I go that far, it stops the comments. Hold on. He said, damn, here go my homie. Here go G2 Recovery, Chief X. This is one of the best discussions I ever heard on all of these platforms. This was powerful for the kids, he said. Great discussion. You should go back and listen to it. Armchair Philosopher commented, damn, Chief X. You spanked those culture versus vultures so hard. Ankh and the boys been streaming their response for 15 hours straight and still going strong. Congratulations. Armchair Philosopher says, damn, Chief X, you spanked those culture verses so hard. Ankh and the boys. Because they were against us. Ankh wasn't agreeing with Ngozi and us. He's fronting today because he's moved the goalpost. And you niggas fell for it. And are falling for it. He said they're streaming their responses for 15 hours straight and still going strong. Egyptologist 7. Let's just get. It's very simple. Look at the modern day Egyptians. I don't understand why African Americans want Egyptians to be something else. It's sickening. Gamal Nasir TV, the Sudanese guy. He says right here, still one of the best talks on the topic. Well done, Chief X, and thanks for this. Markel Maxwell, this was a great discussion, and most of all, I can listen to this around my children because we were all cordial, we was respectful, there was no cussing, and four men had an adult conversation. He says again, this is a great discussion, and most of all, I can listen to this around my children and they can get the information, and there's no cursing and that foolishness. Peace, brothers. Y'all inform me on a lot of things. Twist of Fate, great build, very informative, and kept on the subject. Thanks, I learned a lot. Miss Tiffany, who is a pseudo killer. I bet you don't know. I bet Unc don't know she commented on this. Miss Tiffany said, "What? Excellent discussion and topic. 100." Later, Unc start punking all the pseudo killers and people and shit and trying to get them off of this shit. Initially, when Miss Tiffany heard this shit, she said, "Excellent discussion and topic. 100." Good looking out, Miss Tiffany. Now, Miss Tiff, I don't know how you faltered since. I get it. Unc's a bully. And he scared y'all into not agreeing with me, Chefron, Ngozi, Steet Sufi, and Aku. Everybody's praising Steet Sufi and Ngozi, right? This Amir dude knows his shit all right. Here go a lady. This discussion was amazing in all capital letters. I wouldn't say it was conclusive. I'll continue to study, right? Chief X, this was only day one for you as a YouTuber, right? Thumbs up for an honest, balanced, and informative discussion. As someone who reads and understands genetic papers, I can say that Ngozi is knowledgeable in genetics and delivering facts. However, sometimes it's difficult for lay folks to follow him and catch what he means since they're not familiar with the academic language. Anyway, population genetics never denied that the ancient Egyptians were African. They were geographically Africans, but culturally and genetically most not sub-Saharan African, aka black, but rather similar to people from the Levant, Anatolia. People have to face the fact that ancient Egyptians were mostly of Western Eurasian stock. Now, me and Ngozi had a conversation. I was not entirely wrong with that stuff I was talking about with Flinders Petrie. This lady right here in Ngozi will always tell you they're similar to people from the Levant, Anatolia, right? People have to face the fact that ancient Egyptians were mostly of Western Eurasian stock. I was not completely wrong. I was just wrong on when I was talking about the formation. Like, for instance, a person didn't come from Iran into Egypt and start forming Egypt. No. A person from Iran has some affinities. A person from the Levant, Anatolia, modern day Turkey, has some affinities and some genetic relationship with the ancient Egyptians. This is true. So the way I couched it was Flinders Petrie was saying that these people came from other areas to form Egypt. But no, these people come from other areas, came into Egypt, lived there for thousands of years. And those people in that geographical area in Egypt internally began to form the nation state of Egypt. So it's the way it's couched. And the way I couched it that particular time was a little wrong. But no, I was not wrong. People from Levant, Anatolia, the Near East do make up genetic ancestors of ancient Egyptians. I was not completely wrong. Okay? So, even this cat who fights me now, named Africa Teacher, says this was a very good discussion. And I was like, and was like a breath of fresh air in the sea of pseudoscience. Africa Teacher is that dude, Atten, that was on Chefron's page just this week, going in on me and calling me diabolical. But here he is, when I first made this, shook and impressed with me Africa teacher, what changed you? He says right here, this was a very good discussion and was like a breath of fresh air. Why? Because it was against the grain, and nobody in the community for decades came with this information besides Chief X, and then these other brothers following me and co-signing me. Africa teacher, what happened to you? Africa teacher is Aten, by the way. And it was amongst, what he say, a sea of pseudoscience and centrism, basically everywhere else on YouTube about Egyptian origins. It was all good. The Book of Knowledge, Scholarship, blah, 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 blah. What happened, Africa teacher? Now you're against me. Okay? So I can go on and on with these comments. Another guy, great analysis of the Afrocentric phenomenon. Thank you guys for clarifying the truth for everybody. Oh, we was on fire this debate, this discussion. And it was 3 hours and 45 minutes. Go back and watch it. It's called Black and White Ancient Egypt History Discussion. And this was made after Black Egypt Debunked. And this discussion right here made these niggas Ankh, Garfield, even Garfield, Ankh, Garfield, Smash Rockwell, Reggie, and every other wrong Afrocentric stream for 25 hours against us. This was the original coalition who set this motherfucking fire. Ankh was against Ngozi and me. But today he's trying to front and have a kumbaya moment. Me and Ngozi talk on the phone. We talked on the phone today. Me and Ngozi talked on the phone yesterday. And Ngozi, what he was spitting on Ankh's channel tonight was in agreement with Chief X. But when Ngozi is on Ankh's channel, Ankh holds back because he knows Ngozi agrees with me. So he tried to act like him and Ngozi is cool. Bullshit. They're cool, but bullshit. Me and Ngozi roll together and agree with each other on the topic of Black Egypt Debunked. Let that be real and known. Yes, he did, Astros 87. Yes, Ankh has been flip-flopping for 4 years, moving the goalposts, changing his arguments, getting taught by us four. Now he's changing and trying to see the light. But Ankh, the only reason he says the ancient Egyptians is not black is because black to him, or to most of us, is a social construct, which it is. But we're talking about social. We're talking about society. Nigga, I'm talking about a social construct. You goddamn right. I don't give a fuck what you talking about. Ankh has been a flip-flopper. And don't let this nigga fool you. In 2024, this nigga was against it and pushing a Black Egypt for 2 years before we taught his ass and he came around. What you say, Acadia? He's playing wizardry. And you bitch ass niggas is letting him play wizardry. You niggas is not being honest and holding Ankh to his feet to the fire. Ask Ankh, where was he and why wasn't he part of this four horsemen? He was riding Dr. Ben. He was riding, they come from the south. He was riding that Nubians formed early Egypt. Yes, he was. They all knew exactly what I was talking about. After that video, they start saying, "Oh, well, black ain't it's a social construct. There are no black people. Well, this and this. Oh, so bullshit to subvert me." Okay? They all caught amnesia. I don't know if this guy is saying Ankh or Unk and God, but all these cats was running. This guy right here says, "Why don't you want to have have a debate in public venue? The final nail in the coffin. This debate would generate more cash." No, we tried it. All them niggas ran from me for a whole year, and then I wanted to act like he wanted to debate me on Sunday. What did he want to debate me about? Because he wanted to debate me because he was against black non-Egypt. He was trying to push that the Egyptians was black. That's why he wanted to debate me. I didn't make no other claim that the other claim except the Egyptians were not black folk. So what would he want to debate me about? Cause he was for Black Egypt. He's flip flopped, and you niggas let him. I just wanted to show this and show you who the original coalition was, who the original people who was down with non-black Egypt and who supported me. And at this time, Ankh was nowhere to be found. He was over there going berserk and streaming for 25 hours trying to subvert us. That's the real truth. Don't let this nigga flip it on you now. I'm out.